Welcome back to the workshop. Before we turn this bucket of hardware store nails into a dagger, smash that subscribe button. We start by chopping the heads off these nails with a cut-off saw. We need straight shafts for the canister. The heads are uneven and create air gaps, which ruin the weld. Then we clean off the galvanization to avoid toxic zinc fumes. I pack the clean nails tightly into a square steel tube, the Canister Damascus method. I pour in a little oil here. As the canister heats, this oil burns off, consuming the oxygen inside and preventing the nails from oxidizing before they fuse. I weld the cap on airtight and attach a rebar handle so I can maneuver it. Into the coal forge. We need to soak this until it's hot. Once it's glowing, I pull it out and sprinkle on borax flux. This powder melts into liquid glass, penetrating the canister to clean the steel and help the nails bond. Then back into the fire until we hit welding temp, around 1200 degrees Celsius, or yellow hot. Now to the power hammer. I'm drawing out the billet, crushing that square box into a long, flat bar. The goal is to fuse the nails and the canister walls into one solid piece of steel. The machine does the heavy lifting, stretching the grain structure out. Switching to the anvil to refine the shape. I'm hammering in the distal taper, making the blade thinner towards the tip and defining the tang. A little water on the anvil creates a steam explosion that blows off the thick fire scale, leaving a cleaner surface to see what I'm doing. I cut the billet to length on the chop saw and mark the center lines. Now to the large contact wheel grinder. I'm aggressively grinding away the outer layer of the canister tube to reveal the nail pattern underneath. You have to be careful not to overheat the steel here, or you'll ruin the temper before we even start. Once the flats are clean, I clamp a guide to the blade. I'm using an angle grinder to cut the fuller, the blood groove down the center. This is risky. One slip and the blade is scrap. I take it slow, grinding a channel right down the middle to reduce weight and look cool. To clean up that rough channel, I switch to a die grinder with a burr bit. This smooths out the bottom of the fuller and refines the plunge lines near the tip. Then I use a flap wheel on the angle grinder to blend the transition between the groove and the flats, removing the deep gouges. Before hardening, I drill the pinholes in the tang. If you skip this, good luck drilling through hardened steel later. Now I'm back on the angle grinder with a finer flap disc, blending the bevels. We need the surface relatively smooth and symmetrical before we switch to hand tools. Now the real workout, draw filing. I'm pulling a large mill file across the blade lengthwise. This flattens the bevels and removes the wavy ripples left by the grinder. After filing, I wrap sandpaper around a block and scrub the steel clean to 400 grit. Deep scratches now will be permanent later. Time to harden. I place the blade in the electric kiln to hit the critical temperature precisely. Then, the quench, plunging it into oil. This freezes the crystal structure. I check it for warps immediately while it's still cooling. If it's crooked, now is the only time you can fix it without snapping it. After tempering, I hand sand again to remove the fire scale. Now, the reveal. I dip the blade into ferric chloride acid. The acid eats the softer steel faster than the hard parts, revealing the chaotic spiderweb pattern of the nails. I neutralize it to stop the reaction, then buff the high spots to make the pattern pop. Moving to the bolster, I take a piece of brass plate and use a Dremel with a cut-off wheel to slice a slot for the tang. I refine the fit on the grinder. Brass heats up instantly, so burn protection is optional but recommended. I drill holes through the brass and the tang to align everything. I insert brass pins through the holes and the tang. I place it on the anvil and hammer the pins down. This peening process expands the brass, locking the bolster plates mechanically onto the knife tang. It's an old-school mechanical connection that won't fail like glue can. I use a rotary tool to sculpt the brass bolster, giving it a rounded shape. Then I prepare the handle scales from a dark synthetic material. I drill matching holes using the tang as a template, insert the pins, and hammer them flat just like the bolster. The handle is now permanently fused to the blade. With the handle assembled, I take it to the disc sander to grind the pins and handle material flush with the steel tang. Then, I move to the belt grinder to contour the handle. I'm rounding over the blocky edges to make it comfortable. A square handle is a blister factory, so we want curves. I use the slack part of the belt to blend the handle scales into the brass bolster seamlessly. Then, back to the vise. I've wrapped the blade in blue painter's tape to protect it. I take a strip of emery cloth and shoe shine sand the handle. This creates a perfect round profile and removes flat spots. I remove the tape and take the knife to the buffing wheel. I'm buffing the brass and the handle material to a high gloss. Be extremely careful here. The buffer is the most dangerous tool in the shop. It will grab the knife and throw it at you if you lose focus. Respect the wheel. Now we move to the sharpening process. I'm using a paper wheel system loaded with abrasive grit. I start by establishing the secondary bevel on both sides of the dagger. You need to keep the angle consistent, usually around 20 to 25 degrees for a blade this thick. I'm watching for a burr to form on the edge. Once the edge is established, I switch to the second wheel. This one is slotted and loaded with white polishing compound. It removes the burr and polishes the edge to a mirror finish. This acts like a powered leather strop, honing the blade until it's scary sharp. Final inspection. I'm wiping down the blade with a microfiber cloth to remove any wax or compound residue. I'm checking the edge alignment and making sure the pattern etch looks clean. The brass is shining, the handle is smooth, and the edge feels sticky, which means it's ready to cut. Testing time. First, the pumpkin. The dagger glides through effortlessly. Now the cabbage. One clean slice and a chop right through the core. The nail knife is tough, and the edge geometry is solid, from rusty scrap to a custom fighter. If you enjoyed the build, subscribe and leave a comment. Thanks for watching.